shafts coming out. Well, that's a $25 million hole in the ground now, and I just saw the contractor filed a $10 million lien. So, that's 31 stories and almost 380 apartments that are not going to come to fruition.
Sheehy points to rising construction costs and economic uncertainty as key factors for some of those delays. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Again, a big drop on Wall Street here again with those tensions going on in the Middle East. The Dow is down more than 2% at 47,790. The NASDAQ off more than 2% as well. That's 530 points at 22,217. And the S&P 500 also down more than 2% here during trading at 6,740. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory's arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Giannis Antetokounmpo returning to the Milwaukee Bucks lineup for the first time in 6 weeks, but a rough go for the Bucks on their home floor last night, falling to the Boston Celtics 108-81. Giannis had 19 points, 11 rebounds, played just 25 minutes, though, in his return from a calf strain.
That tells me that I'm in minute restriction, so I just got to, trust the coach staff, trust the training staff, and slowly get back in the rhythm and get to where I want to be.
Bucks are back at home tomorrow night to face the Atlanta Hawks. Out in Arizona, Milwaukee Brewers playing an exhibition game today against Great Britain. That is a little tune-up for the national team there as they get ready for the World Baseball Classic. Brewers have 9 players playing in the WBC. Pool play for that tournament will get underway tomorrow. Let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got a couple of delays here. One kind of out of the Mitchell interchange. This is 4394 northbound. Seeing a few backups starting at Howard Avenue until you get past Lincoln. Not seeing any reports of a crash, so again, just kind of tapping the brakes through that section. And then also out of the Hale interchange, a couple of slowdowns starting at Cold Spring until you get past Oklahoma. Otherwise, rest of the system is looking good. And your forecast, we'll see partly cloudy skies as we move throughout the rest of today, a high up around 40 degrees. Tonight then, partly cloudy, a low down to 29. Partly cloudy skies on Wednesday, we'll see highs in the mid-40s. And then Thursday, we'll see some rain likely throughout the day with a high near 43. Right now, it's 39 degrees in Madison, sitting at 38 in Waukesha, and it's 37 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here's Kristen Bry. And in for Steve Scafidi, here's Todd Albaugh.
Welcome to Tuesday. And yes, indeed, Todd Albaugh is back. Just for today. You're going to hear twice next week, but you're here today. We're so happy to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here, assuming Steve is still gone next week.
That is true. That is true.
He may come back. He may come back and kick me out of his chair.
So he is. I did. We made it. Or he made it. He did the thing that he set out to do. So I woke up to a text this morning, not from him, but from Kathy, of him touching a pyramid.
He's been talking about this for weeks.
So this is our push right now. If you would like to see the picture of Steve at the pyramids touching a pyramid, you gotta subscribe to the newsletter. Which, if you subscribe to the newsletter, you're also entering a chance to win 4 Brewers tickets. So text EXTRA to 855-616-1620. We will put front and center Steve's pictures from the pyramids in Egypt for this weekend's newsletter. But then you'll also be entered to win a 4-pack of tickets for the American League Championship game, or champion game. No, let me say it again. We are playing the American League champions, the Toronto Blue Jays, for that game. That was Tuesday the 14th.
There you go.
All right. Anyways, I wore
my crew, my Brewers 3/4 zip today. Because, 620 WTMJ is the flagship station.
It is.
Of your Milwaukee Brewers.
It is indeed. All right. So Steve is in Cairo for now. We'll see if he comes home. He said he did also text me, said everything's pretty fluid. Because you'll notice yesterday, the U.S. Embassy finally made a call for Americans in the Middle East, and they listed out all the countries to evacuate. Now, I have heard less about the plans in place for them to evacuate, because anyone who was listening to the show yesterday, my brother was still in Dubai as of Saturday morning. Great interview. It's at WTMJ.com.
I listened to it.
I think it's still on the homepage right now. If you missed the interview that I had with my brother yesterday, definitely go check it out as far as what his experience has been. I'm happy to report that he is currently in Istanbul. It got added to the itinerary. So it was, he drove 4.5 hours to Oman to fly out of Muscat. Now he was supposed to go to Rome, but that got deflected. And so now is Muscat to Istanbul, Istanbul to Rome, Rome to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt to Houston in the next whatever hours. So he is on his way. But in publishing the interview yesterday, and I put it out different clips from the interview on social media, I'm getting DMs from people who have neighbors or family members who are in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai, and the direction that they were getting was shelter in place, including someone who's, I think his nephew works for Epic in Madison, right? And the direction that they're following the direction of what the consulate is saying. And so he's in Dubai and he's like reporting back to his family saying that, he can feel his hotel like shaking as missiles are hitting. So this is not something that, there's a lot of Americans who are over there, and it does not seem like there is, like I said, like Ben said yesterday, he was not able to get anyone to answer the emergency line for the UAE embassy. And he can't be alone in that experience. I
found that to be a really fascinating part of the interview. And again, congrats to you on this interview and really, Ben, for taking the time to do this. I found it insightful. And one of the things of him talking about this, here you are abroad. And if you look at your passport, it says, contact your local embassy if you have problems. You do that and you can't get help. And the administration is coming under fire now in the last few hours or a couple of days. Several Americans abroad, expats and what have you, are having this same experience. Part of the problem or the challenge is that this administration has fired career diplomats and ambassadors and not replaced them. So you have former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee as the ambassador to Israel. He put out a statement, I think it was yesterday, basically saying, yeah, we can't help you. Do the best you can. Try to get to Jordan if you can. But not a lot of help here. And in my opinion, having worked for a congressman and done some of this foreign affairs type of stuff, one of the key roles of the U.S. government is to take care of American citizens when they're abroad like this. And so I'm so glad your brother has made it out, But to your point, there are a lot of folks whose loved ones have not.
Well, and the thing is, one of the things that I think probably the sticker shock when he said yesterday, $10,000 in 36 hours, but that is chump change compared to what some people are paying to get on private jets. The Guardian this morning put out an article that was talking about the scramble for so many people to try to get out of Dubai. And again, a lot of people doing the same thing he did is finding a way to get to Oman, which is about a 4.5-hour drive. But all of the commercial flights out of Oman to Europe are fully booked until like later in the week. So then you're getting to Oman, even if you get out of UAE, you still got to find a place to stay in Oman. But then for private jets, there's the prices. So JetVip, which is a Muscat-based private jet brokerage, told The Guardian that a flight to Istanbul, so one of the smallest jets that's available, now costs about 85,000 pounds. No, 85,000 euros, 74,000 pounds, which is roughly 3 times the usual rate. Then seats on private charters to Moscow are going for about 20,000 euros a person. And there was a representative from a chief executive of a private jet brokerage, Vimana Private Jets, told The Guardian that flights from Riyadh to Europe were now costing up to $350,000.
I mean, it's the 1% of one. I mean,
yeah, but it's like, but then you think about it, and the fact that I feel so grateful that I don't know if my parents are going to help him or what. Like, but either if you put it on a credit card, and it's like, whatever, I'll pay off the $10,000. Just get me out of here. There's a lot of people who can't do that. No. Right? And
I said to you, I heard your brother, he was just so kind of matter of fact, like $10,000, let's go. I'm like thinking, I'm glad he has that kind of money.
Like that's like 4 to 6 months of a mortgage for most, or rent, or right? Like that is it. But like that is, like I said, that's such a small amount from some of these other planes as people are just desperate to get out. And as a family member, I feel really fortunate that he's okay, but that makes me think about all the people who can't do that. Yeah. And also just not experienced travelers the same way that my brother is, to know how to navigate a system to get out and figure out what leverage he can pull with whatever miles he has with United or whatever he's got. It's a whole other part of this that I don't know if it was thought through. And I was thinking about this morning, and we think about it, and then we'll go to break. What will the reaction be if any American civilians die in this, as far as because of lack of planning and because of what you said, as far as a shortage on staffing with some of our like diplomats and some of these embassies of actually being able to help people? And I would imagine, if you think of like what happened with a messy pullout from Afghanistan and the blowback from that I would imagine this is going to be just as bad. But hopefully that doesn't happen. And we will keep our eye on the situation.
Thinking of your brother, sending prayers and good vibes for his safe travels to get back to the U.S. and all those others, because, there's real lives at risk. And people around Wisconsin, we're going to talk later on about military people, but certainly civilians as well, and friends that we know that the world's a smaller place today. And that's one of the great parts about it, but it personalizes all these things. You think, oh, I know someone who's from there, or they have family there, and it puts a whole other layer of concern.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, there's some interesting elements that feel very different in this day and age as far as a Middle East war. And one has to do with betting, and the other has to do with disinformation. So we will talk about that. I am Kristen Bry. He is Todd Alba. And we'll be back on Point Taken after this.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavidi here for QC Kinetics. Raise your hand out there if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. Yeah, I don't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics patients right here in Milwaukee are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her great QC Kinetics medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. That's why Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. Alan's back to work, now climbing ladders. No big deal. All real QC Kinetics patients, including me, the sooner you start your treatment, the sooner the inflammation goes away and the sooner that joint damage slows down, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Put me in that group. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. Here's a number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559.
Stop in for savings this week at Fleet Farm that'll help put winter in your rear view. Get a free $25 gift card with the purchase of $100 in Columbia, Dickies, Under Armour, or Wrangler clothing. Fire up the flavor with Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets for just $8.99 a bag. And buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper or Goodyear tires with our complete installation package and Resolute Road Hazard policy. Don't miss these limited time deals, only at Fleet Farm. And for even more, go to fleetfarm.com.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
Kristen Bry. Steve is in Egypt for the time being. We'll see if the trip lasts as long as it was supposed to. That is the laugh of my co-host for the day, Todd Alba. So you've lived through a fair amount. You've lived through I guess we've lived out through the same amount of Middle East wars. I was just a much younger
Kristen likes to point out
child
I'm the old person still.
Well, you're not as old as Steve.
No,
so,
I'm in between.
No, but I referenced being in high school the last time as what it was like in 2003 as we were going to Iraq. But you're like high school. You're like, I was in college. I was like, no, you weren't. And you're like, and you were talking about 1992.
1992, yeah.
And so, I think a lot of, I would say some millennials I've been seeing talk about kind of, drawing the parallels of what it felt like when we were doing all of this in 2003 to the rhetoric and the discourse that's happening now. But one thing that is definitely different is the amount of misinformation and disinformation and how quickly it can spread because of social media and how we communicate now. So Wired had an article out over the weekend as far as they tracked as a lot of the disinformation that was going around on X. And so they reviewed hundreds of posts on X, some of which racked up millions of views that promote misleading claims about the locations and scale of the attack. In several posts, videos of apparent attacks have been attributed to incorrect locations or months or years old. And a number of images circulating appear to be altered or generated with AI. Other posts attempt to pass off video game footage as scenes from the conflict. And almost all of the viral posts that were reviewed by Wired came from accounts with blue check marks.
Which doesn't mean anything now.
Which doesn't mean anything. And so all that it means is they're paying for X as a premium service versus what it used to mean, which was you were verified to be a person of, verified to be who you said you were. And also they kind of only gave it out to people who were public figures.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
I think we were working together when you got your blue check mark originally, maybe.
No.
No? It was before, you got yours before that?
I never earned... Because by the time
you didn't earn a check mark on X when you had Asgos?
My brother convinced me to pay for it right when it first came out to when I was still doing Asgos Wisconsin, and it first came out as far as what the premium, and the biggest reason I paid for it is because you could edit your posts and because you could go longer than 240 characters. And so for that, I think for about a year, I paid for it, and it mostly because that was a very useful add-on. And then I barely even use X anymore.
That's why I paid for mine too. I've said this before. I use X as basically an aggregator for news.
And so you're someone who still gets most of your news from there. How do you navigate
Because I follow WTMJ, I follow ABC News, I follow NBC News. I mean, the Associated Press, J.R. Ross at West Politics, Molly Beck at the Journal Sentinel. I feel, and you're in this every day now more than I am, but I feel that X is still the platform, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, where journalists still share information the quickest. News is going to break on. It's not going to break on Blue Sky or Threads or wherever.
Well, I don't spend enough time on either of those either to defend it. But I mean, so you don't feel the impact, because I feel like I get on X now, and between trying to figure out what's real, what's not, and also just how angry everyone is over there, that it's not worth it to me.
You know this, but people that might not have X or Twitter as a platform, you can either set it to following, which only shows you pretty much the people that you decide that you want to follow, or
the things
for
that they
you.
retweet.
Right, and so I almost never have it on for you. I'm always doing the following so that I decide, unless somebody slips in somehow, but I decide who I'm following, and I pretty much only follow what I feel are legitimate people or news sources. So it's an aggregator. It shows me what's going on in the world. I find that helpful when I come on here, do my own things or whatever. But to your point, well, yeah, in 92, Al Gore, wink, wink, nod, nod, hadn't invented the internet yet. So we didn't even have it, okay? You had to watch the big three, or we had, I guess, CNN or whatever.
Well, that's what my brother said yesterday. That was kind of when CNN first came onto the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in, 02, 01, 02, when you had kind of George W. Bush, that you had the internet then, but not to the extent it was today as far as disinformation, I don't think.
I think that was the rise of, that was around when people started blogging. Right. Because when it was before even Facebook. Facebook was 2004. Yeah. So that was one piece of it. Let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about how much money was made over the weekend.
Sick and not
by
in a good
people
way.
betting on when the strikes would happen, because that is another new development that we live with. So he is Todd Alba. I am Kristen Bry, and this is Point Taken.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavini for Annex Wealth Management. With tax filing season here, staying organized can feel overwhelming. But having a trusted partner like Annex to help you navigate those changes and apply possible retroactive tax moves can make a meaningful difference. What made sense a year ago might need a second look now. Job changes, retirement, health, or just life. At Annex Wealth Management, personalized guidance begins with understanding your unique situation and goals. Whether it's investment management, tax planning strategies, or preparing for retirement, their team can help you make informed decisions with confidence that have the best interest for you or your business in mind. As a fee-only fiduciary, Annex is committed to putting clients' interests first with goal-focused, non-commissioned strategy. Their great team of professionals, including CFPs, CFAs, CPAs, PhDs, wealth strategists, and attorneys, they got them all, brings broad expertise to every aspect of your financial plan, all under one roof. Are you happy with your current plan? Is your strategy aligned for the future? Annex Wealth Management can provide clarity and direction. Know the difference. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the now famous Get Started button.
Augustin Hadalick returns to the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra March 6th and 7th as soloist in Mendelssohn's soulful and fiery violin concerto. Don't miss this opportunity to hear one of the most celebrated artists of our time as he teams up with music director Ken David Mazur for an unforgettable concert experience filled with gorgeous melodies. Call the box office now to reserve your best seats at 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org. These concerts will also feature the mighty and romantic Symphony No. 3 by Johannes Brahms, as well as a self-described companion work to the Brahms Third by Detlev Glanert. It's a program of audience favorites that is sure to feature some of the most inspired music making you've ever heard. Don't miss Hadalick and Brahms at the MSO March 6th and 7th only. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more information, or call 414-291-7605.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
The only place to get this.
Leaves for Jericho Sims, and he works right past Dennis Schroeder for another dunk.
With some of this.
Jericho Sims has been a huge, huge part of that. Granted, we haven't seen it next to Giannis now, this version of how Jericho is playing. But what the coaching staff has done now is they have surrounded him with shooters.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. In for Steve today, it's Todd Alba. Very happy to have you here, friend. All right, we only
Glad
have
to be here.
a couple minutes before we got to go to the bottom of the other news. But over the weekend, traders on Polymarket, which we've talked about, I think we've certainly a handful of times on this show, but it's a betting market that you can bet on current events, basically. When will this happen? When will this happen? Who will get elected, etc. $529 million was moved through bets tied to the timing of the U.S. and Israeli strikes against Iran. Analysts by analytics firm Bubble Maps found that 6 newly created accounts made a profit of $1 million by correctly betting that the U.S. would strike Iran by February 28th. Behavior that could indicate insider trading.
You think? One person
and there's
made
no rules against this right now.
No rules against. I think U.S. Senator Chris Murphy is trying to introduce legislation to outlaw it. But one individual made $750,000, and it was just hours before the strike. You can't tell me there wasn't somebody on the inside. And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Donald Trump Jr. is an investor in Polymarket.
Well, Polymarket operates offshore, so they have different rules, including that you can bet on military conflict, which is for U.S. regulations. And then there's another version is called Kalshi, or another betting market is called prediction market is called Kalshi. And that operates in the U.S. So you couldn't make these bets on Kalshi, but you could on Polymarket just because of where it operates. But both platforms did take bets on when and if the Supreme Leader would be killed, which that is just...
It's sick, and our men and women in uniform are being put in harm's way. People like your brother who are traveling Americans abroad, and people are betting on this crap.
Oh, we only have 15 seconds, but if you think about what betting has done to sports, like in the death threats that people are, like athletes are getting, like being able to bet on all of this, not good.
No.
Not taking us in the right place at all. All right, news is next, and now ABC.
Preston, the market's trying to climb back after a major sell-off this morning. At one point, the Dow was down 1,200 points. Right now, it's lost 852 as traders worry that the strikes in Iran could lead to a more prolonged conflict in the Middle East. Oil prices also spiking as gas prices were up 11 cents overnight. Part of that because Iran has, for now, closed the Strait of Hormuz.
This is that critical passageway where 20%, 1/5 of all of the world's oil flows through. And right now, it is at a standstill, so no oil is going in or out. As this standstill gets prolonged, there will be a bigger economic impact. A lot of oil traders, analysts had not expected it would even kind of go on this long.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says Britain will be sending a warship to Cyprus after a drone hit on a UK base. Washington now pulling staff out of the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. In Madison, Governor Tony Evers calling for a special session of the state legislature that will happen April 14th to ban partisan gerrymandering. Both Democratic and Republican leaders have not said if they would support the governor's proposal. Evers says it is one of his top priorities during his final year in office. Mayor Cavalier Johnson naming the next director for Milwaukee's Department of Administration. Danielle Rodriguez currently leads operations in the city's Department of Public Works. Her nomination to the DOA will need approval from the Common Council. The former director, Preston Cole, retired last year. Wisconsin's oldest operating cinema now has a new owner, Milwaukee Film, purchasing the 110-year-old Downer Theater on Milwaukee's east side. The organization will now renovate and restore the building, including adding new projectors, and audio upgrades, expanding the lobby and also the concessions area. Milwaukee Film hopes to start construction by 2028. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A rough day for all three of the major indexes. And again, traders saying part of it is the worries with the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. All three are down more than 1%. The Dow was off 880 points at 48,024. The Nasdaq down 400 points at 22,345. And the S&P 500 is down more than 115 points at 6,766. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got a crash on 4394 northbound. This is right at the ramp from Holt Avenue. Part of the right shoulder is blocked there. So again, you're seeing some backups starting at Holt until you kind of get past Lincoln Avenue. And then out of the Hale interchange, some backups 41 northbound. Not seeing any reports of a crash in that area, but we are seeing you tapping the brakes. So again, that's out of the Hale, 41 northbound, and that will ease up once you get past Oklahoma Avenue. As for your forecast, partly cloudy skies as we move throughout the rest of today, a high near 40 degrees. Tonight then, partly cloudy, a low down to 29. Partly cloudy conditions on Wednesday. We'll see highs in the mid-40s. Rain likely Thursday, a high near 43. And then more rain in the forecast Friday with a high closer to 50. Right now, it's 42 degrees in Green Bay, sitting at 36 in Kenosha, and right now 37 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. In for Steve today is my friend Todd Alba. Thank you for being here. And I think I forgot if it was this show or the last iteration of my old show. I talked about an event that made a really big impact on me, which was we went to, through Journal Sentinel, we went to Wausau, and it was for John Dietrich's Behind the Gun series. He's been doing unbelievable reporting on gun deaths in Wisconsin. That specifically was talking about suicide, which is the number one cause of gun deaths in Wisconsin, and it typically impacts white males. And so we were trying to get to outside of Milwaukee and have a conversation. And I learned so much about gun ownership and the conversations that are happening inside gun ownership circles. And some of the conversation that came out of that is like, how different is the conversation when you take gun safety to Milwaukee? And that is exactly the next event that Journal Sentinel is doing. John Dietrich is here along with James Causey, who are going to be the two moderators for this weekend's event, March 7th, Behind the Gun, talking about gun safety in Milwaukee. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So I guess, well, we've been talking about this for a while of wanting to put this together in Milwaukee. And so what, kind of talk about that. It's like, as in your reporting, people probably make assumptions about what gun safety is in rural Wisconsin versus Milwaukee, but what have you found as far as being some of the overlap and the similarities and then also the differences?
Yeah, so the premise, thanks for having us on. So the premise here in the project that I did through Marquette was really going to gun owners and talking to them about solutions. It's sort of a simple idea, that there are solutions that gun owners have that might be different than non-gun owners. So that's where we really leaned in. And through that reporting, so James and I have worked together for a long time. We started talking about this and we said, so how do the issues look different in Milwaukee? There's a lot of discussion in Milwaukee, especially when, bad things happen, tragic things, as it's happened this weekend and tragically happens far too often. What is the discussion like? And so he and I started talking about that. We went out to community groups and we sort of started to almost like crowdsource or test the ideas out there. And I'll tell you one line that we hear a lot of, and this would be familiar, is after something happens, there's often a press conference or something like that where the discussion will be, let's put the guns down. Let's put the guns down. And that is an important message. And as we talk to people in community groups in Milwaukee, what they told us is that is incomplete. That is not the full picture. While that's important, there is a lot of legal gun ownership, specifically on the north side of Milwaukee, but it's not talked about in a very open way. And so this event is really in response to those conversations.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a first of its kind. And so John and I, we went to a bunch of different community groups. And when we sat down and talked to them, they were like, oh, yeah, this is what we've been seeking for a long time. And we're happy that you guys are putting this on. And this event is not meant to shame you if you own a gun or shame you if you don't own a gun. It's meant to give you information and look for some possible solutions that we can all agree on, right? So, the main goal of this is just to provide safety for you and safety for in your home, and make sure that your gun, if you own one, doesn't end up in the wrong hands, or if you don't own a gun, how to be safe around a gun. So I think these are the kind of conversation we need to have more of.
Absolutely.
I grew up in Southwest Wisconsin. I'm a gun owner, hunter. Don't hunt as much as I used to. Still occasionally do some pheasant and bird hunting, that type of thing. But what I find so fascinating, and first of all, thank you both for your reporting and for doing this series, is lots of misnomers out there. One, and we hear this a lot right across the state. Oh, Milwaukee is so dangerous, and just say, a quote unquote bad city. We saw our politics, and I spent time in Milwaukee. I think it's a great city. But talk to us a little bit about what you guys found in your reporting when you look at populations, that Milwaukee is actually not as dangerous per capita as some of the rural parts of our states when it comes to gun ownership.
Well, that's a really interesting point. I appreciate that. So one of the things that we did in the project is we looked at gun deaths for every county in the state. We got data, first of its kind data collection effort. And what we found is when you adjusted for population, Milwaukee was not number one for gun deaths in the state. They look different. As you mentioned at the beginning, Kristen, the suicide is the 7 out of 10 gun deaths in the state are suicide, and we don't talk about that very often, and it's a hard subject to bring up. 25 out of 100 gun deaths are homicide, and then there's the categories of police involved, and the smallest is accidental or unintentional. Those do happen. They're statistically the smallest category, but they're incredibly tragic. They're also highly preventable. So that's a subject that we can expect to come up for sure. But here's the thing is that often in this, there is this question about okay, I've bought a gun for home defense, but then the message you're telling me is keep the gun unloaded, locked, and separated from the ammunition. Well, but how is one to do that if they bought the gun for home defense? So often that message is just okay, well, that doesn't apply to me because I have a home defense gun. What we're going to lean into is that those are not mutually exclusive things. You can have both. You can have a gun that's only accessible to you as the gun owner, but is not accessible to anyone else.
To like your children.
Exactly.
Or the burglar. Those are the stories we hear. And that is, I mean, this is one of your last reports when you came on, John, was that also in Milwaukee County, those usually get charged as a felony versus accidental deaths in other parts of the state where there's discretion to have it be a misdemeanor.
That's right, or not charged at all and treated as an accident. And so we do see some differences. And, the DA, the reason they do that is because they said the number of these is distressingly high, so we need to respond with felony counts. What we're trying to do is lean into the discussion, create a forum. Really, that's our agenda. There's really not an agenda like James was saying at the beginning. Our agenda is to create a forum. And that's I think we're part of what our function is to do.
So let's take a break really quickly, and we'll talk more about what the event will look like on Saturday, March 7th. John Dietrich and James Causey are here from Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Todd Alba is my co-host for the day. I am Kristen Bry, and this is Point Taken.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi with Milwaukee Weight Loss. Are you tired of the side effects that come with the GLP-1 weight loss medications, the monthly cost, the injections, and the pressure of staying on a drug long-term just to keep the weight off? What if there was another way? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, they offer a doctor-supervised, drug-free alternative designed for people who want real, sustainable weight loss without relying on ongoing monthly prescriptions. No lifetime medications, no recurring supply costs, just a safe, structured program focused on lasting results. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today to schedule your free consultation. Lose the weight and keep it off. This program is a doctor-developed, doctor-supervised program where people can lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two safely and naturally. Keep it off using real food and natural and safe products to help patients reset their metabolism, control hunger and cravings naturally, helping them burn their body fat, not muscle, like GLP-1s do. With the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program, they help thousands of people right here in our area. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves. Are you talking about the One Collection? Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush-mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart. The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment. The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's. To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
The Mine Chef's Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat haddock Lenten fish fry is just $8.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu Sunday through Thursday. Google, call, and reserve your $8.99 fish fry. It's the Mine Chef.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. In for Steve today is Todd Alba, and we are talking to reporters John Dietrich and James Causey from Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel about their event coming up this Saturday, Behind the Gun, Milwaukee Gun Owners Safety Summit. So tell us a little bit more about, I guess, first, just reiterate, what is the goal of Saturday?
Yeah, so I guess when we think about the goal, it's to create a discussion, one that is being asked for in the community. and from the community groups that we talk to, individuals, where they could have a safe and open space, frank discussion around firearms ownership, and share best practices for people who own a gun, who would never own a gun, who are just interested in the subject. So it's creating a forum. And it's going to be in a couple different parts. We're going to have a discussion period. We're going to have a forum and a panel discussion. And that's going to go from 10 to 11:30. And then starting at 11:30 to 1 o'clock, we're going to have an information fair in the basement of Prince Hall where we're going to do this. And the idea is that there's going to be different people there from organizations from the VA to the city's 411 Life. There's going to be a couple gun stores that are going to come, all talking around issues of safety. Again, the idea is that people in this area may disagree significantly, but we think that there's areas of common ground that people may be surprised to learn that they have when it comes to gun safety.
And so this is different than like the gun violence, so like some of the stuff that we saw over the weekend where people, I think, is this going to address just people who have guns in their cars and things escalate and they bring them out? Is that part of this, or is this really about sticking with when you have guns in the home?
Well, yeah, we can't ignore what happened over the weekend, for sure, and I'm sure it will come up. But this isn't, we don't really want to focus on really specific events because I think you could get lost in the weeds on that, and it's bigger than one event, right? It's bigger than that. This is so huge because we just don't have these types of conversations every day. So I think it's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to hear things that they haven't heard before, hear from people that they may agree with them, may not disagree with them. But I think what we're trying to do here is find a space where we can introduce people to other people who they haven't met before, right? And because this is a city where we typically work in silos. So it could be a lot of synergy here where people could say, okay, we agree on these terms. Maybe we could work together and try to find some solutions and help save people. So I hope some of that stuff happens at this event too.
I just find, again, reading these stories, behind the gun, unintended, people's personal stories. And Chris and I were talking about this on another subject before we came on the air. When you attach a name and a face with an issue in our communities and our neighborhoods, it becomes so personal. And that's why, just talk to us a little bit about some of the stereotypes that may exist, whether it's communities of color in this city, whether it's the rural versus urban. How do we break down the stereotypes to get through to solutions?
Well, Todd, I appreciate that. So to me, the strength of this piece, and the Greg Borowski, who's our editor-in-chief, he was the project editor on this. And I remember us talking about this as gun owners shared and trusted their stories with me. We realized we wanted to just tell their stories individually, not sort of chisel them into a larger story, but let them. So, and what those stories did is they let people breathe, because I think social media and in media sometimes will flatten people and the full contradiction of some of the experiences. I mean, I'm thinking about the story of William Olivier, who I featured in the story, and he's going to be at the event. So William grew up in Harambe, and he carried a gun for a drug dealer. And his gun education happened. As we say, gun education is happening. His gun education was through video games and the gas station and so forth. He did a lot of unsafe things at that time. Fortunately, nothing really horrific happened at that time. But all over time, he became a gun trainer, somebody who carries responsibly now and so forth. So right there is a contradiction to say somebody who is, as a young man, doing things that are dangerous evolves over time. So that kind of breaks the stereotype too. We saw it out in rural areas, people gun owners talking very vulnerably about mental health and mental wellness and separation of firearms in times of mental distress. Featured somebody from the LGBTQ community who was carrying, and she was very concerned about her safety, especially when she would go to areas in northern Wisconsin after she had transitioned. So those sort of things, what we really wanted to do was, again, I call it sometimes like untidying the tidy narrative. Things that feel a little bit too easy as far as narratives, and bring up things that are just real, that are honest, that are really going on in the community. And that's really what we're about on Saturday.
All right, so where can people get more information, or what is all the information someone should have if they were interested in coming on Saturday?
So the location is at Prince Hall, Masonic Hall, 12th and North Avenue. Doors are going to open at 9. The talking will start at 10. The information fair is at 11:30 to 1. There's refreshments, safety giveaways. All this is free. You can register online. That's at jsonline.com/behindthegun. But if you don't register, everybody's welcome to come. And again, there's parking across the street, Prince Hall. There's also in the area. But if people have questions, they can also reach out to me. James and I are available to answer anyone's questions.
Awesome. And also, if you don't go to the event, read some of the reporting behind the gun, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. It's unbelievable reporting, unbelievable stories of all colors, shapes, parts of Wisconsin. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
John Dietrich, James Causey, behind the gun. We'll have more after this.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Spring is quickly approaching, and it's the perfect time for you to get an awning installed so it's ready once the temps warm up. Comfort Awnings is a local, family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Receive a free motor with the purchase of any retractable awning or screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Discover your new favorite city, Milwaukee. Catch a sunrise over Lake Michigan. Sip your way through craft breweries. And dive into a dining scene that's turning heads. From museums and music to thrilling sports teams and buzzing nightlife, Milwaukee delivers all season long. Good things are always brewing on the Fresh Coast. The expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org have everything you need to fully plan every detail. Whatever it is you'd like to do in Milwaukee. Plan your trip today at visitmilwaukee.org.
Practical principles that make every dollar count. Small budget advertisers can't afford to waste one penny. It all has to go to work in the most effective and efficient way possible. Anderson Smith advertisers are setting themselves apart 24 hours a day, every day of the year. The power of the airwaves is real. You just have to know how to harness it. We'll get you deals you can't, and you'll get results that you won't without us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Don't buy ad packages. Buy into a plan, even if you don't use us to do it. Because unless you're willing to sell your product or service for a lot less than what it's worth, you're setting yourself up for almost guaranteed failure. Put an ad plan together and stick to it. Tell them what sets you apart and have consistent branding so it can work for you with a snowball effect rather than just trying to make a big splash. And if you need someone who can really make your dollars work hard for you, Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Hey beauties, you're invited to swing by your local Merle Norman for a fabulous eye-catching gift with purchase that's sure to make you sparkle. What's inside this gift? Only the essentials for eye perfection. Trial sizes of Brilliancy eye cream, eyeshadow primer, a soft touch eyeshadow duo, and soft touch eye pencil. Hurry, these goodies are only good while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics Salon and Spa at Brookfield Square. Free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last at participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios only. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to modify the gift if needed. Promotion not available at merlenorman.com.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox and Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finance After the Kumpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, let's get through a couple of things that we are promoting right now. If you have not subscribed to Extra Points, the newsletter, you want to subscribe now because Point Taken is giving you a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets. All you need to do is subscribe to the newsletter, Extra Points, and you will be eligible to win a 4-pack for the Section 117, which is right behind home plate, for when we're playing the Toronto Blue Jays on Tuesday, April 14th. To sign up, text the word extra to 855-616-1620. And this weekend's edition will include pictures of Steve Scafidi, touching a pyramid.
You want to? I've seen it. I have seen it. You do not want to miss it.
He literally texted me this morning. He goes, "This better be front and center on the newsletter."
He has achieved his dream, his goal, and he looks fantastic. By the way, can I say that?
Tan. He looks very tan. All right. Well, we'll talk more about bowling. We still have room for 4 people to sign up for Bowling for Babies this Saturday. If you have not done that, text BABY to 855-616-1620. And we have a lot more. General Daniel May will be with us when we come back to talk about, even though he is retired, talk about people that served under him who are now deployed in the Middle East, and so much more to come between Todd
Big
Alba,
second hour.
Kristen Bry.
And I'm going to tell you what it's like
Point
being
taken.
on the town with Kristen Bry as well.
Okay. News is next.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickard, your potentate of lower rates. You've probably heard mortgage rates are at their lowest in 4 years. Acunet's helping a metric ton of our clients take advantage of this dip in rates while it lasts because there's no guarantee how long this window of opportunity will actually stay open. We'd like to help you consider your refi options too. Sure, you can call your current lender for a one-size-fits-all refi that probably comes with high closing costs and no real in-depth consultation. Or you can click on the blue button for a no-pressure, expertly crafted refi checkup. We'll help you compare all your options, including our genuine no-loan cost refi, which over half of our clients choose. What about a 28 or 29-year loan instead of going back to 30 years? And how much money should you bring to closing or get back instead? Your friendly Acunet loan consultant will lay out all your options side by side and help you make the right decision for you. Find out how much you can save by clicking on the blue button today at Acunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
If you've been injured, let our team help get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it's 37 degrees, partly cloudy skies throughout the rest of today with a high up to 40. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. Stock markets dropping sharply this morning and oil prices rising as the fighting across the Middle East continues. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says much of the worry is centering on how long the conflict may last and how long ships may be stopped from sailing through the Straits of Hormuz.
These moves in oil prices directly result in moves in gas prices, what you pay when you go to the pump. So we are now above $3 a gallon. It's the first time since last year that we've been at that level. And I think it's worth noting that gas prices are now higher than they were at this point last year.
We'll get a look at the markets here in just a few minutes, but all three major indexes here in the U.S. all down more than 1%. On Capitol Hill this morning, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defending the immigration crackdown during her testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Noem touted the increased safety at the southern border and the nation's lowest murder rate in 125 years. Minnesota Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar took Noem to task for calling Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists after they were fatally shot by federal agents.
Ma'am, I did not call him a domestic terrorist. I said it appeared to be an incident of.
I think the parents saw it for what it was.
Noem blamed Democrats for the ongoing partial government shutdown impacting Homeland Security. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The man accused of sexually assaulting and robbing a Marquette University student making his first appearance in court. 34-year-old Tedrick Boone faces 2 felonies in the alleged assault. Court documents show that he approached a 19-year-old female student just before 2 a.m. This was near 14th and Kilbourne on February 18th. He then allegedly displayed a weapon and sexually assaulted her before stealing her cell phone and running off. Boone was arrested a week later. If convicted on all charges, Boone faces up to 100 years in prison. A Taco Bell employee now in custody after a fight involving gunfire in Muskego.
There's currently a physical fight going on at Taco Bell between 2 customers trying to get into the kitchen area. All I hear is screaming, and they're just requesting police. I get any other information. Multiple 911 calls.
That audio from Broadcastify Monday afternoon. Authorities say the Taco Bell employee allegedly fired several gunshots outside of the store. That employee was arrested at the scene. No one was struck by the gunfire, but one person was injured during the fighting. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Like we said, the stock market's well down here this morning. The Dow down more than 1%, off 690 points at 48,214. Again, all 3 indexes actually all down more than 1% currently. The NASDAQ off 331 points at 22,417. And the S&P 500 is down 93 at 6,787. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as 3rd generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. A welcome sign for Milwaukee Bucks fans after 6 weeks. Giannis Antetokounmpo back in the starting lineup, but a rough showing for the Bucks on the floor last night. They fell to the Boston Celtics 108-81. Giannis, 19 points, 11 rebounds, played just 25 minutes in his return from a calf strain.
That tells me that I'm in minute restriction, so I just got to
trust the coach staff, trust the training staff, and slowly get back in the rhythm and get to where I want to be.
Bucks are back on their home floor tomorrow night against the Atlanta Hawks. Out in Arizona this afternoon, the Milwaukee Brewers playing an exhibition game against Great Britain. That is to get Great Britain ready for the World Baseball Classic. 9 players for the Brewers are going to be playing in the WBC. Pool play for that tournament will get underway tomorrow. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still some issues. 4394 northbound. This is right at the ramp from Holt Avenue. Part of the right shoulder is kind of blocked there. We've got a crash. There are emergency crews on the scene. So scooting you over there. Again, that starts at Holt Avenue until you get past Lincoln. And then still a couple of minor delays coming out of the Hale interchange. This is 41 northbound. Kind of starting at Howard Avenue. You were tapping the brakes a little bit. Not getting any reports of a crash there, but again, you're slowing down there at Howard Avenue until you get past Oklahoma. Rest of the system is looking good.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
And your forecast, partly cloudy skies as we move throughout the rest of our Tuesday, a high near 40 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight, a low down to 29. Again, we'll see cloudy conditions throughout the day Wednesday, highs in the mid-40s. Rain will be likely then Thursday, a high near 43, and then more rain expected on Friday, a little bit warmer with a high near 50. Right now, it's 40 degrees in Madison, sitting at 39 in Waukesha, and it's 37 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here's Kristen Bry. And in for Steve Scafidi, here's Todd Albaugh.
Welcome back to Point Taken, 11 o'clock hour. And I'm so happy to have Todd Albaugh here with me.
Great to have you here. Before we go any further, can I say this? We were talking about betting. You can always bet on Neil Doyle and the great WTMJ News team. They hit it mark after mark. I mean, bet on that if you want to bet on something.
Suck it up.
A little bit.
All right. So for anyone who listened to the show yesterday, we were talking about my brother who was stuck in Dubai along with a lot of other Americans who were stuck in the different parts of the Middle East. And then there's a lot of Americans who are not stuck. They are there and they are serving, including more than 400 members of the Wisconsin Army National Guard who are stationed in the Middle East during this ongoing military action. And Todd, when we were planning today's show, you wanted to invite someone on who had direct information as far as what this looks like and feels like for people when they are deployed.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity because in our old show, back in our old network, I had the pleasure and honor of having this gentleman on our show several times. Did our show on location up at Volk Field for the Northern Lightning event, the training exercise. And welcome to the program here on 620 WTMJ. I believe the first interview, actually, since he retired this past December. Major General David May. He served as the Adjutant General here in the state of Wisconsin, commanded the Wisconsin Army and Air National Guard, responsibility for both federal and state missions. He was also responsible for emergency management and emergency communication and served in Governor Tony Evers' staff as well, overseeing Homeland Security here in the state of Wisconsin. He joins us via telephone here this morning. General May, thank you very much for taking the time and welcome to WTMJ.
Hey, good morning, Todd. Thanks so much for having me. Great to hear your voice again.
Well, it's always a pleasure, and we'd love to get and we're going to talk a little bit more about maybe if you have a chance what you're doing now. You're helping vets still in your retirement. I think that's great. But I like your reaction, General, because I was watching Chairman and Joint Chiefs of Staff General Kane's press conference yesterday at the Pentagon, and we're talking about this operation in Iran over the weekend, and he specifically called out the Wisconsin National Guard as having been a part of these actions over the weekend. And the hair went up on the back of my neck a little bit because through you and your time at the Wisconsin National Guard, I had a chance to interview these individuals. I'd like to know, General, what was your first reaction when you heard this, the Wisconsin National Guard being called out in deployment?
So I think there's a number of significant things there. First of all, I appreciate General Kane pointing out the contributions of the Guard from any state, but of course, we're proud of our home state National Guard. General Kane was in the National Guard for a long time. And if anybody knows how important the Guard and Reserve are to the overall effort, he certainly does. So to note that this early, yesterday was day 3 of operations, to note that this early in this current situation is remarkable, but well-deserved. The National Guard integrates and is part of the team and gets the job done, just like all other parts of the armed forces.
Well, talk to us a little bit, General May, about, because I think Chris and I were talking about this before. Her brother, a civilian, was kind of caught over there in business in Dubai. But according to reporting from Wisconsin Public Radio and the Journal Sentinel, over 400 members of the Wisconsin Army National Guard stationed in the Middle East. I want to be very careful in not giving out false information. General Kane also talked about F-35s were deployed from other National Guard units. So we don't know for sure whether Wisconsin Air National Guard was part of this mission or not. They might be, keyword might be. But talk a little bit about the family members of the Wisconsin Army National Guard, certainly perhaps the Air National Guard, because I think there's a lot of consternation for us on the civilian side. Like, oh my gosh, these are our loved ones. General, talk a little bit about the training that goes into the Wisconsin National Guard units here and how that serves them in a live theater.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's important to note that the Guard and the Reserve are trained and equipped to the federal standard. So when we go overseas to do our federal mission, we are at the standard of the active duty. We prepare for that differently because the Guard is primarily a part-time force. So we do that over, a different amount of time. It's done in chunks of time differently than probably the active duty would. But once we are to that point where we're actually going to deploy, we're up to task. And the Guard is designed that way. Sometimes people will take a cheap shot at the Guard, and it's probably because they just don't understand how we're designed to become part of the federal mission alongside active duty members in a way that's really seamless. And the Wisconsin National Guard has an amazing reputation. I spent the last 17 years of my career in the Wisconsin National Guard. Every single unit that deployed and came back, Army or Air, came back with absolutely glowing reports from senior commanders in theater. We have a very high standard here, the highest standard across the Guard, but family members should feel reassured that they've been equipped, trained, prepared to operate as safely as possible when deployed. Granted, send-offs are always much more difficult than homecomings. We love the homecomings, and in my time in the Guard, did a lot of both. But nothing's better than bringing a unit home, seeing the reunions with family members, and seeing the babies that were born during deployments and all that sort of thing. The human element here is incredible. The Guard is a very close family in so many regards. So it is very personal. But again, our military was structured on purpose this way to have significant amounts of our capacity in the states in the National Guard.
Major General, speaking of that, as far as being trained such that they are prepared to be as involved as active members of our military, is the expectation that is similar to how responsibilities are designated, that they are doing? Is there different roles that the Guard plays than active military members once they're deployed on a mission like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. My opinion on that is once units are integrated into operations overseas, the difference in components really becomes inconsequential, whether you're Guard, Reserve, or active. The deployed commanders need the job done, and they look at the units that have been provided to them, and they go forth and do what needs to be done. I can tell you from personal experience, in a deployed environment, and especially when operations are ongoing, you do what needs to be done. I certainly found myself doing a number of things that I didn't expect to be doing, but when things are happening, you jump in and get the job done based on the mission and your orders from your command. The units that we have sent forward, just based on open source media, we have a forward support company there, as well as an artillery unit that's equipped with HIMARS, a high mobility artillery rocket system, which we've had fielded in Wisconsin for, I think, more than a decade. So the commanders are going to take those capabilities, those assets, those personnel, and work them into the mission as they see fit.
Major General David May is our guest on Point Taken with Kristen Bry. I'm Todd Alba in for Steve Scafidi. General May joins us via phone on the actions in theater in Iran over the weekend. He was the former longtime general, and most recently the adjutant general of the state of Wisconsin, retired in December. And now, by the way, the vice president of military partnerships at Vet Jobs, which is really a cool gig, I think. But one more follow-up question, because I know Steve and Kristen get into the politics of this on this show. Other people like me, I heard Secretary of State Marco Rubio's rationale for launching this action, which I'll say my words just doesn't add up. But General, as a military person now retired, but our men and women from Wisconsin who are deployed, when they hear the political rhetoric, how are they able to tune that out and just focus on the job? Because I hope that people listening to this show, regardless of whether we agree or disagree on whether we should have done this action, will support our men and women who are in action.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point. You generally don't get to pick your deployment when you're in uniform. You certainly don't get to pick your war if one happens to take place while you're serving. And we're brought up, we're indoctrinated and trained in the military to be apolitical, non-political, however you want to state it, and ultimately we're subordinate to civilian authority. That's the way it's designed in the Constitution. It's the way we've operated going forward, and it does create a challenge when there's lots of controversy about an operation. But our people are disciplined, they're dedicated, probably more than anything else, they're looking out for each other, and they'll stay on task, they'll stay focused, of course, with getting the mission done, but also hopefully all coming home safely. And it's not easy. We've had, certainly some controversial military operations over the last 3 or 4 decades that has challenged military professionals, but the military is an institution. As individuals, collectively, we've persevered all these years, and I have nothing but confidence in the members of the Wisconsin National Guard that we have deployed currently.
Major General David May, thank you so much for your insight and your context today. Certainly appreciated.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you both, and again, I just want to say I'm proud of all the men and women deployed from Wisconsin. And praying for their safe return. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm in a different time zone.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more on Point Taken after this.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had snoring issues, right? Kept my wife, Kathy, up many nights, too many nights. Probably woke myself up a lot more than I realized. Poor sleep, tossing and turning, tired mornings. Kristen would say grouchy mornings on the radio. But I did something about it, which is me, action plan guy. I went to Advent as a customer and a client, 30-minute visit. They walked me through my issues, answered my questions, added a really simple sleep study at home, determined my problem, sinuses, nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, breathing better than ever, 5.5 years ago. Now I sleep through the whole night. That's worth the price of admission. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. AdventKnows.com. Schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Do you have a spot that's too cold in the winter, but if you jack up the heat, the rest of the house is too warm? Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Time to get Jeff and his team out to your house. Proper insulation from USA forms a thermal barrier that maintains warmth in the winter and coolness in the summer. Time to get in on thousands of dollars of government efficiency credits. Jeff and his team at USA Insulation find the grants, rebates, reductions, and they discount the cost of your project up front. Get started at usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
The sounds of spring and, of course,
It is out of here!
Brewers baseball is back. Spring training baseball is here.
A grand slam over the batter's eye in center for Bryce Terang.
Join us for our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Cubs. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts Wednesday at 2. We are the flagship station for your Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
All right, well, not here, but in 3 other states, primaries for the midterms begin today. So it's North Carolina, Texas, and Arkansas. But I think most eyes are on Texas, right? Todd Alba is filling in for Steve Scafidi today. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. My eyes are on Texas.
My eyes are in Texas. Both because there's both a competitive race for the Democratic primary for Senate, U.S. Senate there, and Republican Senate. So John Cornyn, who has been, how long has John Cornyn been a senator?
Too long, like 20 some odd years.
He is facing,
my opinion, by the way,
Attorney General Ken Paxton, who has been impeached by the state house in Texas in 2023 and that was later acquitted. There's also another gentleman, Representative Wesley Hunt. I know less about him. I'd imagine he's polling third. But that's going to be a close race. And then there's also a pretty contested race between Representative Jasmine Crockett and State Representative James Tallarico, who have very different styles, and I think is, an indication. I mean, it's going to be really fascinating. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of Democrats, I think a lot of politicos in general are interested to see how Texas Democrats vote between these two people who are, like I said, have a very different approach to how they talk about politics.
Yeah. By the way, I was laughing because when you said eyes on Texas, it reminds me of that song, da 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 da. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry.
But you meant like clear eyes, full hearts can't lose.
I'm just a musical. I wish life were a musical, but it's not. This is a really exciting night for me as a political geek.
Okay.
For what you said.
So what are you watching for tonight?
The things you just outlined. I want to see because Donald Trump, President Trump, has refused to endorse anybody on the Republican side. Here's John Cornyn, the incumbent, has voted with Trump probably 99% of the time, and Trump's like, yeah, I'm not so sure about it. And so
did he do anything that has because I was reading as far as
because Paxton and you got Governor Abbott down there who's a big Trump guy, and Paxton and Abbott. So I mean, there's all these inter-MAGA things behind the scenes.
But has Cornyn done anything specifically where he's like gone against Trump publicly?
Not that I know of off the top of my head.
So how has he lost favor? Like,
if I could explain the inner workings of Donald Trump's mind, I'd be a rich guy.
Interesting. Okay.
But so you've got that going on, and we've seen in Wisconsin, once Donald Trump endorses, look what happened between Josh Schoeman and Tom Tiffany. I mean, it's over once Trump endorses. So Trump could have ended this little thing for all intent and purposes by endorsing. He chose not to. I think he likes the entertainment sometimes. Let's see how this plays out. And then on the Democratic side, James Tallarico, who of course was went on Colbert and Paramount, CBS said he couldn't do it and really raised his profile. But Tallarico, I believe, is in seminary school yet, as a state representative, and whose grandfather was a pastor, I believe. And so he comes at this from a very, as you said, very different style of, hey, let's reach across the aisle. I mean, he's kind of redone the Obama speech of not red or blue, but purple from it's not left or right, but top versus bottom. That's Tallarico. And
he also cites scripture.
Yes,
right?
all the time.
Very, very fluidly.
And unlike a lot of people in my former party, which I left in 2011, I think he actually lives Christianity to the best of his ability. He's not just saying it, Tallarico. And then you got Jasmine Crockett, a member of Congress in the House of Representatives. Much more of a fireball, comes from Dallas. And so happens to be a black woman. And so there's concern in the Democratic Party in Texas. Can a black progressive woman win over ranchers in West Texas?
Yeah.
Versus
if Beto can do it, couldn't do it, could she do it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I just like James Tallarico's message. I find it hopeful. And I'm somebody who's trying to find hope in these days. So I think Tallarico matches up better with Republicans. But Trump has gone to all kinds of length, the MAGA movement, to get Crockett through this because they think she's the easier candidate. Whether she is, I don't know. I'm not a Texan.
I'm also
I
not
did
a
live with a
Texan.
Texan for a while.
Really?
Yeah. My former roommate, Alex T. Henvey. And when you live with a Texan for a while, you understand him. Because we'd be watching a Bucks versus a Mavs game, and he goes, I don't know what's the matter with Dirk. I don't know. Look at him. He's terrible. And then they pull ahead of the Bucks. I told you he was going to come back. They're very braggadocious.
I was going to say, is that uniquely your friend or uniquely Texan?
I think it's, Texans, by and large, is a bit of a stereotype, but I've hung out down there. Beautiful part. But they're braggadocious, but they're great people, the Texans.
Rubs us in Wisconsin the wrong way, that's for sure. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Discover your new favorite city, Milwaukee. Catch a sunrise over Lake Michigan. Sip your way through craft breweries and dive into a dining scene that's turning heads. From museums and music to thrilling sports teams and buzzing nightlife, Milwaukee delivers all season long. Good things are always brewing on the fresh coast. The expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org have everything you need to fully plan every detail. Whatever it is you'd like to do in Milwaukee. Plan your trip today at visitmilwaukee.org.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Well, we basically have no time. We have to go to the
Steve
news
loves
very
predictions.
quickly.
Who's going to win tonight in Texas?
Oh, gosh. Who do you think is going to win? You have 5 seconds.
Corden sneaks by, and so does Talarico.
Okay, there you got it. News is next.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Ahead of a meeting with Germany's chancellor at the White House, President Trump defending his decision to carry out joint strikes with Israel against Iran, saying Iran was planning attacks against Israel and others. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
He says that Iran was going to strike first, saying, quote, it was my opinion that they were going to attack first, which also raises question about whether it was his opinion or whether he actually had evidence of that. So we continue to see this mixed messaging from the White House about why the U.S. decided to launch this campaign now.
Democrats say there was no imminent threat to the U.S. Iran now carrying out attacks across the region, targeting both Israel and Arab states. That's left American civilians stranded, with airlines grounding flights in as many as 11 countries and airspace choked off. The State Department has not announced any evacuation flights. Oil prices also continue to edge up since the conflict began. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. The man accused of sexually assaulting and robbing a Marquette University student made his first appearance in court. 34-year-old Tedrick Boone faces 2 felonies in the alleged assault. Court documents showing that he approached a 19-year-old female student. This happened back on February 18th. It was near 14th and Kilbourne. He then allegedly displayed a weapon and sexually assaulted her before stealing her cell phone and running off. Boone was arrested a week later. Court records show that Boone has active bench warrants for sexual assault charges dating back to 2019. Governor Tony Evers calling a special session of the state legislature to consider a proposal that would ban partisan gerrymandering. Evers signing that executive order this morning that would call lawmakers into that special session on April 14th. Democratic and Republican leaders have not said if they support the governor's proposal. Evers says it is one of his top priorities during his final year in office. Mayor Cavalier Johnson naming his next director for the Milwaukee Department of Administration. Danielle Rodriguez currently leads operations in the city's Department of Public Works. Her nomination to the department will still need approval from the Common Council. The former director, Preston Cole, retired back in November. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Everything well down, and some fears of that is with the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. All 3 major indexes down more than 1% here during trading. The Dow was off 665 points at 48,230. The Nasdaq down 346 at 22,400, and the S&P 500 is down more than 90 points at 6,786. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic still dealing with this crash. 4394 northbound, right at the ramp from Holt Avenue. Crews are on the scene there. Looks like 2 vehicles involved. It's kind of been there for a little while. They're working to clear it, but it is kind of slowing you down. So again, that's 4394 northbound, right at Holt Avenue, part of the right shoulder blocked for that crash. It starts to ease up once you get past Lincoln. And then we've still got a couple of slowdowns as well out of the Hale interchange. This is 41 northbound. Out of the Hale, you'll see a little bit of road work there, so that's causing you to kind of tap the brakes, and you'll start to ease up once you get past Oklahoma. Otherwise, rest of the system is looking good. Your forecast, partly cloudy skies as we move throughout the rest of our Tuesday, a high near 40 degrees. Tonight then partly cloudy, a low of 29. Partly cloudy conditions on Wednesday. We'll see highs in the mid-40s. Rain will be likely throughout the day Thursday, a high near 43. And then Friday, we are expecting to see more rain in the forecast with a little bit warmer temperatures Friday, highs in the low to mid-50s. Right now, it's 42 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 37 in Kenosha, and it's 37 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Stop in for savings this week at Fleet Farm that'll help put winter in your rear view. Get a free $25 gift card with the purchase of $100 in Columbia, Dickies, Under Armour, or Wrangler clothing. Fire up the flavor with Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets for just $8.99 a bag. And buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper or Goodyear tires with our complete installation package and Resolute Road Hazard policy. Don't miss these limited time deals, only at Fleet Farm. And for even more, go to fleetfarm.com.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopko Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. Todd Alba is in for Steve Scafidi, who is safe in Cairo.
That's the important thing.
He is safe. We'll see if his trip lasts as long as it's supposed to last, but we'll keep us posted.
It's always interesting when he comes back and regales us with stories, and I'm sure this one will be particularly exciting given all the news over there. But he seems
and the vibe and the general vibe. It would
Right?
be interesting to see what conversations are like with people who are Egyptian.
Right.
And because he often comes back, especially when he travels abroad like that, as far as the conversations with different viewpoints of people from around the world and how they hear and think about the actions of the United States. And so, yeah,
That's one of the great things about
interesting.
this show that I enjoy from both of you guys. You're curious people by nature. And I know you guys were talking about before he left that you're both like, you can't just worry about life forever. At some point, you have to live life, right? And
Yeah.
and it seems to me
I
that
mean, I don't get to get out of the country as often as Steve does, unfortunately. But
Who does?
Right? Apparently, my brother.
Well,
But all right. So speaking of things not knowing how long they will last, how's that for a segue? Governor Tony Evers signed an executive order today calling lawmakers into a special session next month to permanently ban partisan gerrymandering in Wisconsin. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, Todd, but well, I think everyone knows that typically these special sessions do not last very long. There was one, was it 2022 or 2023? It must have been 2022. And I tested, there was a special session, and I decided to make a video of what would last longer, the special session or me trying to ride a mechanical bull.
I'm not sure I ever saw that.
Just shy. I did. I think both the Assembly and the State Senate. I made it almost as long, not quite, but it was about 12 or 13 seconds, and I think I made it about 9.
Where did you find a mechanical
Red
bull?
Rocks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there is a mechanical bull at Red Rocks. I actually have engagement photos also on that same mechanical bull.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, do you think this will go anywhere?
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
what I think
really quickly, I don't understand because I'm reading the story in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel here by Jesse Apoyan and Molly Beck, great reporters at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. And it appears that neither one of the Democratic leaders were at Governor Evers' press conference today, nor was his own Lieutenant Governor, Sarah Rodriguez, who's running for governor. And Greta Neubauer on the Assembly side is non-committal whether she would even support this.
Which is really obnoxious. Because what does that indicate? It indicates that given the opportunity, Democrats are still interested in also partisan gerrymandering.
Yeah, I mean, if you look
if you read between the lines, right?
I mean, if you look at the makeup Dems, and remember, the legislature came together last year, I think it was 2024, and passed Governor Evers' maps for the legislative side because it was going to go to the Supreme Court. And the Republicans, and if you listen to Bill McCosher on this program, essentially, keep me honest, Kristen, but I think Republicans felt they were going to get a better deal with the Evers maps than they might under a liberal-controlled Supreme Court. And so they went ahead with that.
Was it Markline that had the quote about we're choosing between getting stabbed or getting shot or something like,
Something like that. It was
insanely
ridiculous.
violent? Or like, is that really the choice that you're having between right now?
So they chose that, and,
Yeah.
and so that left, and they ran in 2024, those new maps. Democrats gained seats. That leaves the balance in the Senate, 18-15 Republican. Democrats need 2 to pick up the Senate, and in the Assembly, Republicans control it 54-45. They need 5 seats to control the Assembly. So to your point, Democrats are chomping at the bit to take control here. And I'm not even sure that in this executive order by the governor, it just basically says we're going to outlaw gerrymandered maps. Does he define that? What defines gerrymandered maps? I'm not 100% sure. But people in the state, my former boss Dale Schultzen, a Republican, and in the state Senate, and his colleague Tim Cullen, the late great Tim Cullen from Janesville, a Democrat, went around this state and created support at the grassroots level for fair maps. I think most Wisconsinites
Was
agree.
this pre-2010?
Yes.
Yeah.
They-
So, I mean,
well,
this is the thing,
continued-
right? Is that the
and they
Democrats
continued that.
in 2009 thought that they were going to continue to have the majority after the 2010 census. They did not.
Right.
And they had the opportunity to do this 16 years ago, and they did not. And despite the fact that I know maybe it's not leadership. I know that there are Democratic politicians in Wisconsin, either representatives or state senators, who have introduced legislation that would have fair maps as far as having a bipartisan appointed independent committee that draws the maps instead of whoever, the legislature. And so whoever has the majority gets to do it. But apparently that is not going to be embraced by leadership.
Yeah, I don't get it because Tim Cullen, he was a Senate Majority Leader of the Democrats. He said, look, our side has done this as well. This is not, more recently it's been Republicans, but it's not only Republicans that have gerrymandered legislative and congressional maps in this state. The dirty secret that Democrats don't want to talk about is that the current iteration of congressional maps in this state were done in a bipartisan manner to protect incumbents. It was to protect Paul Ryan in the 1st Congressional District, as well as Ron Kind in the 3rd Congressional District in the western part of Wisconsin. Yes. That's why
Our current maps?
The
current maps, Paul Ryan was already gone.
I know, but the current iteration is only on the congressional maps is an iteration of 20 years ago.
From 2010.
Right.
No.
No.
2000?
Yes. Because it's a long story I won't get into, but I ran a congressional race in the 2nd Congressional District for a moderate Republican, John Sharpless, who lost to Tammy Baldwin when she was in Congress, and they wanted John to run again. And he said, well, it depends on what the maps look like. And Paul Ryan told John Sharpless, well, this is what it's going to be. And so they drew the maps to protect incumbents
What role
in
did
2002.
Paul Ryan have at that point?
He was a congressperson from Wisconsin.
He was already a congressperson in 2000?
Yeah.
That's how long he served? I didn't realize he was so he was there for like 18 plus years?
Ryan got elected, I think, in 98. Somebody can keep me honest, but I believe he got elected in 98. But yes, they drew the maps to protect Paul Ryan, Tammy Baldwin, Ron Kind, Jim Sensenbrenner, Dave Obey, I think, was still in office at the time. It was an incumbent map. And so Democrats like to talk about how this is a Republican thing. It's not.
Well, then how much did it change from the 2000 census to the 2010 census?
Not greatly.
It did not. The congressional maps didn't change that much.
Not all that much, because people, if you look at the 3rd Congressional District along the western side of Wisconsin, it used to just be along the Mississippi River. And then to protect Ron Kind, they made his district more Democratic. It has that tail that goes over into Rapids, Rapids, and then over to Stevens Point. And people are like, why is Stevens Point in the 3rd? It was to make the 3rd district more Democratic for Ron Kind. And now now Derek Van Orden, the ultra MAGA, has won over there. And people are like, well, he has a Republican district. No. He won in a Democratic district.
No,
and I'm not here.
But it's also how the district has changed.
Well, sure, the district that's a whole other kettle of fish or a bottle of wine. But this is a bipartisan issue, opposition to your earlier point, against better maps. And I wish that there would have been an earnest
support.
Yes, or an earnest outreach by the governor when the legislature was still in session.
All right, we got to take a break. He is Todd Alba. I am Kristen Bry, and this is Point Taken.
Hi, it's David Nason from The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Every Saturday morning, we talk about keeping your home in top shape. One issue I hear all the time, wet basements and foundation problems.
And that's where Accurate Basement Repair comes in. I'm Chris Mancuso, and for over 20 years, we've been The Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing.
Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Visit AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Accurate Basement Repair.
We're not just good, we're accurate. Catch Accurate Basement Repair on The Fix-It Show and WTMJ.com.
Ever wonder what it takes to feel truly wealthy and financially comfortable? Schwab asked Americans that question, and most said at least $2 million. But here's the thing, your number might be different. And that makes sense because your dreams, travel, retirement, and the legacy you want to leave are unique to you. That's why you need advice that's just as personal. The team at Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen and help you build a plan that fits your life. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is an emerging technology that lets users create realistic pictures and videos or change how their voice sounds. Unfortunately, scammers are using AI to disguise themselves and trick you on social media, in phone calls, and even video calls. Before you act, independently verify that requests for money are legitimate. Learn more at datcp.wi.gov. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox and Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
Couple more segments, 2 seconds left with Todd Alba today. You'll be back next week.
God
before
willing,
we get to this,
we'll see, yeah.
I've not been doing a very good job playing up Bowling for Babies.
Play this up because I love it, and there's not a lot of spots left. And we in Wisconsin are bowlers. I'm trying to get a team together. We'll see. But tell people about it because this is a great cause. It's a lot of fun. And you get to meet people like Kristen Bry. She's going to tell you about, and I'm going to tell you what it's like to be out of the town in Kristen Bry. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So this Saturday, March 7th, Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. Sponsored, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. I don't know if Gruber has a team yet. They might have a team.
One call, that's all.
We are raising money for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. So we have 4 teams left. There's 4 spots open. So once they're gone, they're gone. You can't come up the day of and register. You need to register today. Get that team together. Team of 4, hit the lanes. Registration is $170 per team. All of that money goes to Milwaukee Diaper Mission. All of our proceeds are going to raise money for them. Just text the word baby to WTMJ, talk and text line 855-616-1622. Sign up. I'm excited. We're getting some momentum. It's gonna be a fun day. Yeah,
and you're helping out a lot of great
and
families.
We're helping out Milwaukee Diaper Mission, which it's been really fun as we've had 2 more groups this week ask if they could donate to the silent auction.
Cool.
Which is very cool. And so if you are a company and would like to do that, you can still do that because the silent auction is not live yet, but it will be soon.
Sign up. Go out. Meet Ben Bruss is going to be there. Vince Vetrano, I think, is going to be there.
John McCure, Jen Latta, Kyle Wallace, Alex Strofe. I think a lot of other people from Good Karma Brands are also going to either show up and have fun. I think Julia Fellows keeps saying that she's going to come. She's not going to bowl, but she's going to come. So it'll be a really fun day. We would love to see you there.
You hear these people on the radio, and you think, are they really this nice? Or are they kind of jerks? I'll tell you, they're this nice. They're great people. And Krista and I hung out a little bit in Madison on Saturday night. New bar there called Public Parking. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice place. And here I am. I'm seeing Kristen Bry, and she has her fans from her content creator fandom. Pardon me. Are you Kristen Bry? Yes, I am. I am so in love with. I love everything. People love Kristen Bry, and they're talking for like 5 minutes, and finally, Kristen kind of looks at me and she goes, "Oh, this is my driver." Anyway, more about me.
Say that. Stop it.
I know
It was one singular person.
There were a couple other people I think that recognized you at the event we were at, but it's super cool because you've done this, you've grown this, and I'm so proud of you as your friend because what people don't see is all of the unglamorous work that you do, and it's super cool. And I'm so proud of you and happy for you that you built this.
All right, thank you. And now that I'm embarrassed, we're going to break. This is Point Taken, and we'll come back and wrap up the show after this.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today. It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
The Mine Chef's Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat haddock Lenten fish fry is just $8.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu Sunday through Thursday. Google, call, and reserve your $8.99 fish fry. It's the Mine Chef.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, a Wisconsin state representative from Milwaukee charged with disorderly conduct after an alleged confrontation with another Democratic member of the Assembly.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
A staffer at Madison East High School is accused of feeding dog food to a student.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Show goes fast, Todd.
Too fast when we hang out together. I love it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for coming. You're going to come here. You'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Indeed.
Unless Steve
comes
back early.
Kicks me out, yeah.
Then we'll have to wait until the next time he goes on vacation, which probably will be in April, so it'll be fine. But yes, thank you for joining. And we had a fun day today. We didn't even get to everything that we were going to talk about, so I'll have to save some of that for tomorrow. But a couple more reminders for today. Sign up for bowling. Text BABY to 855-616-1620. We are filling up very fast. So if you were planning on it and you just haven't done it yet, do it today. Otherwise, you may miss your opportunity. And then also, we are giving away tickets to the Brewers, a Brewers game on Tuesday, April 14th against the American League champions, Toronto Blue Jays. It's a 4-pack of tickets. All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter. It is
I love this team.
Newsletter giveaway.
As a guy who was around in 82 when they went to the World Series, in 18, I also got excited. I don't know that I've ever been as excited, even in 82, I guess 82, but this team they put together, Murphy is the manager. They're so exciting and fun to watch.
I know,
They're
it's
in
gonna be
spring
super fun.
training.
Are you going to come down for opening day?
Yes.
Good. Great. You can stop by and say hi to Steve and I.
Fantastic.
All right. Text extra to sign up for the newsletter and enter to win. 855-616-1620. Todd, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be back tomorrow, and news is next.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you, who